And we are going to try that again. We had an ambulance or fire truck. There's always some kind of racket going on in the city, but we are picking today our All-NBA teams. I looked online to see if there was an All-NBA builder. There is not. Maybe that is something as a web designer one day for fun I will make. But for right now, there's that budget thing where they give you $25 and you have to pick the players. So that's how we're going to pick our All-NBA teams today. Regarding the teams that are playing tonight, we have Boston, Miami. Boston squashed any doubt that they're going to lose this series by losing one game, which is normal because you're a three-point shooting team. You're going to have dry spells by squashing the Heat in Miami. Boston is too strong for Miami. Even if they had Jimmy Butler and Rozier, I don't think it would be much of a series. I think at best, the best case scenario for the Heat is to make it to a game 6, and I think they would promptly lose that. The next series is OKC and New Orleans Pelicans. This is another series, no Zion, no chance. So the Thunder should be able to wipe the floor with them today and sweep them and move on. The last series is the Lakers and the Nuggets. The T-Wolves are already in the second round after an impressive sweep. I will give them credit because it was a toss-up for me. The Suns just completely pooped the bed, I guess is the most PC way of saying it. They were pathetic. I don't know. They have to do major changes, but they're limited. They have no draft picks. They have no cap room space. There's already whispers coming out that Devin Booker wants out, KD wants out. Bradley Beal ain't going nowhere because of that toxic, probably one of the worst contracts in the NBA. So the Suns are in a lot of trouble in the offseason, and it's all because of their owner doing what Dolan was used to do, sticking their nose and stuff. Just make sure that the lights are on, buddy. Hire good basketball people and get out of the way. He'll learn that over time. As far as the All-NBA teams, this was kind of tough to kind of pick. You know, it's been a very competitive year. Let's just put it that way. It's been a very competitive year. I think a lot of teams are deserving. We are going to do the third All-NBA team first. Let us go with All-NBA third team, Jrue Holiday. I believe he proved by leaving Milwaukee and joining the Celtics and the dramatic shift in both these teams' fortunes when he was removed and when he was added indicates that this is an All-NBA player. He is still one of the best defending players, even though Jimmy Butler bodied him last year in the first round. And I think he took unfair blame for the fact that team is just older, they're injury prone, and they do not have the depth that they once had. They probably should have let Brook Lopez leave to Houston. And, you know, you gotta be NBA. I don't know what it is with NBA teams, but they're just not rough enough when it comes to chopping at players that have played there for a long time. You have to get the Celtics are ahead of the game. Brad Stevens is ahead of the game. You know, Marcus Smart, bye-bye. Grant Williams, you did great for us, bye-bye. We constantly evolving, and you cannot be tied down to players regardless of age or what they've done. I don't care if they had a championship shot, you got to move on. So the Celtics are the best team in the NBA this year by all metrics. Their defense is top 10, their net rating is top 10, and their offense is top 10. Their three-point shooting is an all-time record. So Jrue Holiday is a big part of that. He ruffles no feathers. He comes right in and shoots open shots. Maybe he'll take over in the fourth quarter for a few minutes here and there. He is just living the dream. He is on vacation. He extended for 4 years, I believe. So he is right where he needs to be. So I think he's well deserving of this third team choice by me. And I'm going to say that these picks were done before the playoffs. I wrote them down, and if you flame that in the playoffs, this has no bearing on these choices, and it's the same thing as the award ceremony. I picked these as soon as the season ended, but I've not done a video yet on it. The next player we have on the third team is Zion Williamson. I think he is well deserving of this third team. You have seen what the Pelicans were with him. He is engaged. He is in shape. He's had the best season of his NBA career. He dominated college, so you knew that it would translate in the pros. He just could not keep that weight off, and this is the first year. It's unfortunate that he got injured in the play-in game, but this is life. This is why you avoid the play-in game at all costs. You try to get that top six seed, and they were there. The Pelicans were there all year, and it's unfortunate he got injured at the end, and so they are getting bodied by the Thunder. I think they're going to come back stronger next year. I think they need to move on from Brandon Ingram because you have Herb Jones, you have Trey Murphy III, you have really good options here at your small forward position. Brandon Ingram is taking cap space. I think you get a good defense, like whoever Drew Holiday is on a younger level. Get a young point guard that you can build around, that can play good defense, can hit open threes, and is taller, because McCollum is so short and you may not be able to move him. Get somebody that can play that role, and I think the Pelicans will rock. But the West is just brutal. It's absolutely brutal. I have, as the third player here, I have Steph Curry. He was voted the clutch player of the year. He still has gas in the tank. Surprising, I think he's 36. He runs, I think, on average, the most miles for the last 10 years. It is insane how much cardio he does in a game. I don't even want to see what he eats for dinner. It must be pounds and pounds of pasta, because this guy's a marathon runner. He has proven time and time again, as his contemporaries have started to fade. And I'm talking about LeBron, I'm talking about KD, I'm talking about others. Steph Curry is still a needle mover, I guess is the best turn of phrase to use for him. And he needs help. He needs help. That's what Golden State needs to figure out. If I'm them, if I'm the GM, if I'm Steve Kerr, I am trying to get KD. I am trying to get LeBron. Let's try to get Steph one more, maybe two more. There's an opportunity here, but you gotta hurry. You gotta be willing to move off of Kuminga. If you don't move off of Kuminga and you want to do a youth movement, you gotta move Curry. You gotta not re-sign Thompson, or re-sign him and trade him. And you got to move Draymond. It's one or the other. What path? You cannot do both. They've been trying to do this both thing, and it has done nothing for them. It has done nothing for the players. Make a choice. This offseason, make a choice. But Steph Curry, well deserving. You don't like it, too damn bad. He's still a top 15 player in the NBA. For the fourth player on this team, and again, these all NBA position, it's positionless this year, which was great. So I don't have to worry about what position that they're listed as, because we really are in positionless basketball. LeBron will play 1 through 5. Tons of other players are playing multiple positions. You can't really like square down. There's no traditional power forward. There's no traditional point guard. It is what it is. But it's not your Vitas. It's not my Vitas. It's our Vitas' son, DeMontis, who I believe is on this third team. He had another great year. He was stumped for the All-Star game, which made no sense to me. They did not win out of the play-in situation. This is mostly due to injury. Again, they got lucky last year because they had no injuries. This year, they were not lucky. They lost Malik Monk. They lost Kevin Huerter. They've had a really rough go at it in terms of injuries, but he has been steady. I think he has something like 70 straight games with a double-double. Unheard of. He is one of top 5 best passing bigs in the NBA. He's a tremendous player. He's still got to work on his defense, but he tries. I mean, he can do but so much with his genetics and just with his skill set. He's better on the offensive end than he is on the defensive end, but he tries and he rebounds like a demon. Very deserving on this third team. The last player I have for the third team is Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is on the best team in the NBA. He's unfortunate because everybody, they have about 6, they say that their top 6 players are 6 starters. They don't believe that they have anybody off the bench, and they've kind of played with this and tinkered with it. Depending on the matchup, they'll maybe sit somebody or start somebody else. But Jaylen Brown is the number 2 on this team. He's also, I think, the best clutch player on this team, even more so than Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown is constantly hitting the big shots in the playoffs, even when Jason Tatum is struggling. And again, Jason Tatum is going to get the best defender. Jaylen Brown will get the second best defender, but Jaylen Brown is still that dude. He has sacrificed his stats. He has sacrificed, I think he has the highest contract currently in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. So he's making the most money of anybody in the NBA, but he's still worth it. And I don't think you trade him or Jason Tatum, to be honest with you, for the foreseeable future. I think you build around them. If something doesn't work, you ship out things that are not working like they did before in terms of Marcus Smart and Grant Williams and Robert Williams, and you shuffle players around them. But I do think, although they're similar in a lot of things, I do think they complement each other well, and I do think that is a tandem to be reckoned with. And I think you can position yourselves in a weak East to be a top 3 team for the next 5 to 7 years, because they're still in their 20s. So that concludes our third team. There's a lot of great players in the NBA, so imagine if this is the third team, imagine what the second team and the first team is going to look like. But let's move on to the second team.